Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You think
I'm on?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do we have audio? Do we have audio?
Oh, we have audio.
Vert deferred. Do we?
Oh, yeah, we do. We can ask the people up there. Do we have audio? Audio good. See?
What's going on, guys? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Ladies, plural. Let's see if that's true. Probably.
Probably doubt it. Yeah, I thought this t-shirt was pretty cool, so I picked it up. I grew up with this guy. I think it was funny. He was my favorite character.
He's Italian. Is that why you like him?
No, he's Swedish.
It's weird. There used to be Swedish. 4 people in here.
Yeah, Bill.
Bill.
He was lagging a bit, right?
Bill's gone off the show, guys. He's done. He's finished.
Thanks, Susie. Yeah, I grew up with these guys and watched this guy. He's my favorite character. But anyways,
he's a Muppet. Everybody, in case you don't know, he's a Muppet.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to explain it because there's people out there who don't watch the Muppets.
Well, I don't watch anymore. Thank God.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you buy your headband at the same time?
I was trying to find another color, guys, like a blue, a red. I couldn't find one, so I go, you know what? I'm just gonna stick this orange one on.
Is that a headband or is it like a slab of salmon?
No, it's
to your face?
It's a bandana.
Oh, okay. I mean, it looks all scrunched up like it's puffy or something.
Yeah, I just put it together, put it on.
Every bandana I've tried to put on my head, like since I've become an adult, I feel it's like a child's bandana because I can't tie it.
Well, I'm right at the limit, bud. I'm at the limit. My little fingertips kind of on this head.
Well, you look great, man. I just want to put that out there.
Well, thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
That's a look that should be duplicated.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not talking about like boy bands. I'm talking about everyday people.
Cool.
Yeah. Welcome back, Bill.
Yeah, well, welcome back. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go to use my stupid phone as a mobile hotspot, even though I live in a house with Wi-Fi that I pay $150 a month for.
Man,
piece of crap. I don't know what happened. It just keeps lagging and then it'll kick me off.
You got to get that plugged into the router, bro.
Man, I don't know how to do that. My router's too far away.
Just get a long cable right through your house, man. Do whatever kind of redneck crap you have to do to get it done. Unplug it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do that. Is it just a Ethernet, like a Cat 5 cable?
Just Ethernet cable. That's right, with the little connections or RJ45 connections or whatever they are.
They call it new ones Cat 5 E or Cat 6 or something.
Yeah, I think they're all the way up to Cat 6. Someone in the chat will tell us there's like a Cat 9 now that we don't know about.
There is. Well, the new house are getting it.
I'm gonna put that on my list now. I gotta buy like a 100-foot Cat 5 thingamajig.
I think it's for a picture.
Speaking of range, my son asked for a dog for Christmas.
Ooh.
Are you gonna get him one?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't either.
I might get him a stuffed animal dog.
You just tell him you didn't understand.
And I'll say, please don't kill it. This is a
test.
Ability. It's a test. And
Tell
you better pick up its crap.
Just get him a cat just to mess with him.
Yeah.
Cats are horrible.
I know. I don't like cats either, but they're all right. It's just I'm more of a dog guy.
All right, Joe, you're opening. We're live. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's have it, Joe.
I thought I opened already. My part's done.
No.
You didn't open anything. I mean, you didn't say anything. Go ahead.
We need the intro monologue.
The what?
The monologue.
I don't have a monologue.
Yeah, you should do a monologue. The subject is motors, Joe, so pick a motor and talk about it for 5 minutes.
Oh, come on. That's a long time just talk about motor.
How about
I gotta
one
feed
minute?
off each other.
1 minute.
Okay, I'll tell you a story. How about this?
All right, hold on. Let me get time right.
Stories are good. Let's hear a story.
Why a ECM motor saved me one day. Well, it saved me a few days. There was a nagging issue at this package unit, and it was a resort inn. They had I think it was a Desert Air. So I go there. They're saying so loud. They never could figure out why and how they could get this thing quiet. They tried a few things. So I show up there, went to the blower speed, put it down to 80%. Problem fixed. I look like a hero. So I'll start that off with that. Bam, in 36 seconds, that's it.
Story lasted 36 seconds.
That was my story.
you telling that story, it didn't sound like you actually like went through the big picture diagnosing process of.
Well, I
there.
cut
There
through
goes
the chase. I
$10.
know.
Thanks, Bill.
Number one, were you wearing a bandana that day?
No, I wasn't.
It's more like the narrow picture diagnosis.
Yeah, actually, I was
One
wearing.
by one ratio.
The Cliff Notes.
I was wearing boots with holes in them. So
Joe,
yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
you need new boots, dude.
You do.
I know. I know.
Hey, can somebody set up a GoFundMe account for Joe's wardrobe, please?
Yeah. I don't know if we want to go down that route. Joe might not spend it on boots.
It's all about expectation. Hey, hear me out here. I think, oh God, when it catches up with you, catch up with it real quick. No, Joe dresses like a hobo. All he's missing is like a stick and a sandwich and a bag and a train to catch. When he gets to the job, he does so well at the actual job. The expectation is so reversed. They love him for it. I mean, he sets such a low bar.
Why? That's right. Why set that expectation so high by looking all sharp, shirt tucked in, pens in your pocket, all this fancy stuff, and then you don't do the job right? Well, I go there, I look like a hobo, and the job comes up perfect. Hey.
Yeah, but the problem is nobody wants to let you into their house to do that awesome
That's
job.
after the fact. If they let me in, then that happens.
And then you show up like a maniac that just crawled out of a van down by the river.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to open up with that story. That's all.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
We're talking about motors tonight, huh?
Yeah.
What kind of motor?
ECM board.
What kind of motor was it your story, Joe? I can't even remember now. Your story.
Well, just a regular ECM variable blower motor, and I just turned down the percentage, 80%, quiet it down. I was a hero.
Was it a constant CFM, constant RPM, or just a constant torque?
Constant CFM, I believe. If I'm correct.
Okay.
So, did you check temporize when you were done?
No, I don't. It's
Static?
It was fine. The system's running fine. My temperatures, my pressures were fine.
You've been doing this for 15 years, right? Everything's fine.
Hey.
You've had a lot of experience. You don't need to check.
That's right.
Beer can cold.
Right.
Heck.
No, beer can cold. That's for sure.
What
No,
crap was that? Huh?
it was running fine. 80%, only 20% less, and it helped a lot.
Do you hear yourself, Joe? It was fine. Everything's fine. Everything was fine. The unit's fine.
Everything's fine.
People are fine. The dog's
good.
fine.
It's good.
Fine. Don't ask me follow-up questions. It's all fine.
Hold on. Adam wants the floor.
One hand on the return, one hand on the supply ductwork. That's his temporize. Like,
Yeah.
pretty good.
For ductwork, pipes, hydraulics, yeah. Hold
That
them.
reminds me of how Al Bundy always takes
Pretty
his
close.
temperature rise.
How do
One
you
hand
do that?
on the pants, one hand on the remote.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking to
was
somebody
a-
who probably doesn't know who Al Bundy is.
No. That was an awesome show.
You know
That's
Al
one
Bundy,
thing.
Joe?
Oh, I
He's
love
got
Mary
that
Chilling.
High five, bro.
Yeah.
High five.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, as you guys know, my world is mostly commercial, so I don't see a whole lot of these. I see a handful of these ESC or what do you call them? ECM motors.
Yeah.
ESC, that's the name of our dispatching program. So, but yeah, so these ECM motors, like PS13s, all this stuff that you guys talk about all the time, I don't see a whole heck of a lot of those. I just see three-phase all day long, three-phase, a few ECMs sprinkled in there. But for you guys, what's the most common thing you're seeing nowadays? ECM, PSE, split phase. You guys ever see any split phase anymore?
No. Like,
I think
you're
those are
talking
pretty,
about like
pretty
280
old.
to 240 or like the old reciprocating or compressors or.
No, just the split phase motors.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, just,
Educate us,
I
Bill.
think-
Educate
what did they have? They had a centrifugal switch in them that just cut out the cap.
Gotcha.
So,
I don't know if those are even common anymore.
I'll give you guys a story.
Go for it.
I'll
I'll
give
think
you
of another one.
Something that I did a little big picture diagnosis on.
$20.
$20.
It's 10 now. It's 20. Keep going. We're gonna lose all the money for the month.
You got to look at the big picture, just like you're diagnosing stuff here, Zach.
Right.
I'm about to turn this live stream off.
We're losing money, hand over fist.
Man, I gotta look around like what can I pawn over here so we can pay Chris's invoice.
Oh my god.
So,
Yeah. Go ahead.
all right,
I was just gonna say because nobody. Well, he's in the chat. Okay, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, Justin. If people were wondering where Justin is, I went away for holidays. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say he quit the show and now he just watches.
He just joins chat. Jeez, Justin, what are we gonna do with this guy?
So
Yeah.
I recently installed an Amana 2-stage constant torque 95% furnace. Okay. They had an existing 20 by 25 5-inch air bear filter. Okay. What ended up happening was after we started up the furnace, we were tripping off on limit when it was going into high fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Take temperature rise, check, gas pressure, set up the CFM based on the total external static, which, mind you, I don't like doing that with constant torque. It's kind of a pain because you're kind of all over the place. Well, let me try this dip switch.
Yeah.
Now let me try this dip switch. Let's do this. And now you got to do it all over again for cooling.
This has dip switches? Some contractors. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, what we ended up doing was took a static drop across the filter. And it was like over a 1/2 inch of static just on that filter alone. So we pulled that filter. I made a little channel to slide into the media cabinet.
5-inch?
I pulled 5-inch filter,
Yeah.
made a channel for the media cabinet, and slid a 1-inch cheap fiberglass filter in there.
Yep.
The wife comes down and she's like, "Is this good for allergies? Because I have really bad allergies." No, but we could do like a HEPA bypass filter that would help out. Blah blah blah. And the husband came down. And he's like, the wife went upstairs. "How much does the HEPA cost?" And he's like, "What do you think? 200 or 300?" I'm like, "No, it's like at least 1,500. I got to take a look and see." And he's like, "Oh, screw that." He's like, "I'm just going to tell her I bought the allergy filters."
That's a smart man right there.
That's awesome.
So that system ended up running at, I think it was 0.45 after pulling out the filter of total external static.
Yeah.
What was that 5-inch filter? HEPA rated or allergy rated?
It was it's not HEPA. It's just a Trion. I think it was a MERV 8 5-inch filter.
Yeah, I always preach the 1-inch pleated. Good enough. Does the job. Why create more static? Honestly, there's no need for a 5-inch.
King of God is asking, what was the desired CFM? I was trying to get close to 1,200 CFM. It's an 80,000 BTU furnace. I think I always just go off of, I have a chart from NCI, and I think for a 95 furnace, you need 150 CFM for every 10,000 BTUs.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I mean, you'll fall right in with your temp rise if you're at that. You could probably go a little bit less, but.
Yep, no idea. It's all foreign to me, man.
Now, that's interesting because you have the 5-inch filter. I've used 5-inch filters a lot, just regular media filters. I forget what MERV they were, like 11 or 13 or something like that. But if they're sized right, I mean, they're really good.
They are good, but I'm telling you, we used to do energy audits or whatever for the gas and electric company. And the whole goal was to try to get the system as close to the total external static as possible while clocking the meter and getting the BTU as close to perfect as you can get. You know what I mean? Right out of the box. And pretty much, I would say 90% of people that had media filters, we ended up pulling them out and putting in 1-inch filters to actually get, the certification and get them to pay the rebate.
Now, was that because they were just the wrong size, or were they the right size? They just didn't work.
Because, I mean, when you're adding all this up, I think with ductwork, total external static pressure, if most furnaces, I think pretty much all furnaces are 0.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So what is
Add up everything?
Most coils, the pressure drop is around what, 0.15-ish, give or take a little bit, depending on what size coil it is.
If
So
it's
look
dry.
at that. That's 0.15. That's just the coil, period. Now, if you look at just your return, how was that size? Back in the day, was it sized at 0.1? What are you running just on your return? Then what are you running on your supply side, right? you add all this crap together, and then if you have even a 0.15 or 0.2 drop across your media filter, you're missing out on the total external. You're already over. So, and that goes into ECM too, right? Everyone's like boasting about, you could fix problems with variable speed motors. But once you get up to the real high static, you start, eating up motors, because when you're running close to 1 inch of static, they just can't handle it.
It's funny you say that when you're talking about static pressure, because I remember in the day, and hey, this is a mistake. There you go. I remembered I did a mistake. Back in the day.
Justin's not here, man.
I know. See, Justin, I talk about it where you're not here. Lady was complaining about, CFM, velocity of the vents, whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a conversion. I'm going to swap it out, the old PCM for ECM.
ECM?
Yes, PSC, whatever you want to call it.
PDP.
And it didn't work. It made
PECT.
So after QVC, what'd you do?
RESEPP. So yeah, I swapped it out, and did it work? Very little. Why? Common factor. So the ductwork wasn't done right. Period. It wasn't side correctly. So no matter what you do, what you put in, if the ductwork is not there, you ain't getting.
So here's a question about what you're saying, Joe, right now.
Yeah.
If you have a house that, the ductwork is crappy, the basement is finished, you can't really access the ductwork. Now, do you try sizing the furnace and the airflow to the house, or do you size it to the ductwork to have a healthy furnace? What do you do? Or do you try to do a happy median on both? Knowing that high static is not good for ECM motors or constant.
It's not good for any of them. Honestly, I haven't been into that predicament. The only time I've been into a few times, but the only thing I suggested was replacing the ductwork. I didn't want to get involved. I didn't want to get involved in that. The few times I got in that issue, sorry, Bill, I just didn't want to get involved. I just didn't. I don't know. It's for me. It's a sticky situation. Like if they're complaining about something and they want something done right, and the walls and everything's all done, I'd rather just do it over if it can be.
Or how do you feel about sizing that furnace to the existing ductwork and then explaining to them why you're doing it? Because that sounds like it'd be a cheaper option than tearing out the ductwork, and then say, once I properly size this furnace to the ductwork, it will basically be undersized for your house, but supplement that with like a mini split or something. Is that a viable option?
I would rather do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
High velocity mini split. Yeah.
That's a good guess for a commercial guy.
Yeah, good job, bro.
And now I think as far as like the Midwest goes, I don't know if this is throughout the entire country, but moving that all blower motors, at least around me, are going over to constant torque, minimum constant torque. I think a lot of houses are going to have issues like with warranty and beyond because of the high static,
Yeah.
Constant torque isn't that great against static either.
No.
We really see some of those. Did you do train, Adam, before?
Yeah.
So like your GAM 5s and stuff like that have those X13 motors. I mean, it's like 1700 CFM, and it just falls off like 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 static. They do hardly anything. It's kind of sad. I've never seen it drop so steady on a PSC motor as those X13 motors were.
Crazy.
They were bad. They were really bad. I don't like X13 motors. They're like cheap ones they made just to appease the pricing of machines. Everything with variable speed, I think we'd be much better off.
So when we were doing those certifications, what we started doing was
Why
number
you blowing
one.
past my statement, man? What?
I don't know. I don't know about air handlers, dude. I live in Chicago. We don't have air handlers here.
I'm gonna draw a picture.
Draw a picture.
Never heard what GAM you speak of.
GAM. Okay, I'm sure the furnaces had the same motor on them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure it was the same motor. So Zach, what do you mean about the PSC motor just kind of dropping off like that?
Well, that one was an X13 motor. It's a constant torque. But PSC motors, you put static on them, they start dropping off as far as CFM. And then the X13s, they're kind of weak as well. I mean, the variable speed motor is going to try to achieve the CFM. The X13 is not going to. It's going to put the same amount of torque, and as you put more static, it's going to drop off farther and farther. Some of them are pretty stiff. I mean, if you add like 0.7, 0.8 static, it's going to be pretty shitty. Of crappy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Yep. This is a kids-friendly program.
It's been 20 years of saying the word. It's hard to shake it.
Now, what I'm about to say might sound kind of ignorant. Now, in these PSC motors, isn't there multi-speed taps that you could say in your situation there, just tap into one of the higher windings on it, boost that speed up a little bit, get them CFMs up, pump those numbers up?
Yeah, you can put it up on a higher tap. Sometimes they're already up on that higher tap to begin with.
Oh, and you still have the problem.
Yeah, and then the furnaces have 2 different speeds, and a lot of times the cooling's already on the highest tap.
Yeah, but what I've been seeing is a lot of times the heating now with 95% efficient furnaces, the heating airflow ends up being quite a bit higher than the cooling airflow, which if you rewind 15 years, it was vice versa. Everyone left cooling up on high, and then the heating was a lot lower, and now it's vice versa. I mean, do the math, 150 CFM for every 10,000 BTUs, you have a 100,000 BTU furnace. Where are you at with that? You know, you got a 3-ton condenser, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of chat stuff over here, guys. I feel like we should probably get to some of it.
Sure.
The first one, actually, I'll take. Step up the horsepower on a PSC motor with high static. I actually did that. I used a lot of half-horse motors on, like, trailer systems because the ductwork is, like, it's like this big and it's made out of Coke cans or whatever. Let's see. Greg. Where's your question, Greg? Here in Tennessee, everyone has strips and heat pumps since we have hot summers and cold. He's never seen a gas heat exchanger before. I think he was asking you, Bill, about heat strips because you just released a video talking about something that had heat strips in it. You know what he's talking about?
Yeah. I came across a package unit on a mall that only had electric heat strips in it. It wasn't a heat pump, didn't have a heat exchanger in it, and their complaint was it wasn't actually warm enough in the store. And I was like, well, yeah, you got basically a toaster heating up your whole store. So, and I recommended that there was a spot to add another bank of heat strips. So I recommended they do that or swap the unit out, pipe some gas up there, which they obviously weren't going to do. But yeah, they denied my quote. So I put a new belt on it.
Yeah. Find the water. Do they have a boiler in this place?
The mall probably does. Yeah. For the main part of the mall, but I'm not allowed to go in those rooms.
They should tap in, put a hot water coil in that ductwork. There you go. Bam.
You know what I enjoy working on, though, which everyone laughed at me the last time I said this, is certain apartment complexes will have air handlers with strip heat. I don't mind restringing a heat kit.
Wow.
I think it's fun. You just stretch those things up.
Yeah. Back in the day when I used to do home appliance repair, I did that all the time with electric dryers.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing.
Is it like a men's knitting? It's like knitting for men?
No, don't ever say that.
What it is.
I never done it before, so I have no idea what the process is. But when you think of that,
you just literally stretch out a manly metal coil and you jam it into some ceramic holders, and there's no knitting.
And you turn the breaker on, you could die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes I do them live while the machine's running. Just to prove how manly I am.
This is really hurting me, man. Now I'm going to plug the other end in and click.
When you guys usually change a motor, do you guys usually get or use the OEM motor, or do you guys go to it like there's universals out there?
God, no. Universals.
Yeah, all day long.
Just universal.
You guys replace the actual OEM ECM motor with a universal and
no,
and I put just a PSC for emergency use.
I think Justin was telling me that they would do a lot of aftermarket ECM. I think they make who makes the rescue?
That like the
motor,
green motor or whatever.
Evergreen. I think they make a couple different versions of it.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
But do you guys leave those in there? The universals.
It's different for them because they do furnaces, and I would do air handlers. And there's a little bit more leeway safety-wise if I want to change the type of motor. But with a furnace, I would never do it. I would put in.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I put it in like for PSC. I couldn't tell you. Usually OEM motors for PSC are like twice as expensive.
I know.
Aftermarket,
Well, Mars make them, and like there's so few others that make it. I can't remember the names, but universals. But
and here's something we can talk about. Now, there's companies out there that make replacements for PSCs that are ECM motors. They're like X13 motors. Why would anyone ever do that?
Yeah, I don't.
because they're cheap.
Who was that? What was that
They're
company called?
expensive.
Trying to think of it now.
There's a
I thought the
Comfort
ECMs were more
something.
expensive.
Yeah, it was. They're a couple $100, and the
You know-
PSC motor is like $50 or something.
Yeah.
I actually tomorrow, because my dad was at a customer's house today, and the variable speed motor or end bell, I'm not sure which one it was bad, and he gave him the price to replace it, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't do that." So he called me. He's like, "What do you think we should do?" I'm like, "Well, let's put in a PSC and hook up a relay and do it for half the price." You know,
Yeah.
What was
So-
it on?
people will be calling me a hack for that. I'll tell you that. But
So you put a PSC in, then you hook a relay up. What's the relay for?
you're not supposed to. You can only draw a certain amount of amps on the EAC terminal. So you have the relay close, 120 volt relay. You have the relay close when EAC starts, and then you have line voltage going to the normally open side of a relay.
So the relay's taking the brunt of it.
Well, you're using the smaller amperage to close the relay, and then you run the higher amperage through the normally open contacts.
He's a daredevil, man. That's what he's saying. He's a
Interesting.
daredevil. He flies by the seat of his pants.
Right?
Broken, right?
Hope we never had to testify for you.
Like MacGyver and furnaces together.
Doing it with air handlers is really easy. So you just add a relay, and if you want to be fancy, you can add some sort of time delay or something like that. But I mean, if you're paying for a PSC replacement for an ECM motor, you probably don't give a crap about the time delay.
No. No cooling off here.
A little off subject, but here's my question on air handlers with heat strips. Now, heat sequencers, whenever you're replacing a heat sequencer, do you go at the same time? Or do you just like, hey, man, 30 seconds, whatever, you know?
Now, is that 30 seconds? Sorry, cut you off. That's 30 seconds before or after?
After it closes, or until it closes, like when you engage the relay, when you send power to the relay until it closes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you look, are you guys like really worried about the exact time on that?
Not on an air handler. I'm not really worried about it. On an electric furnace, I would be more worried about it.
I mean, would you, I guess, let me rephrase that then. I would suggest probably not waiting a minute, like getting something, a really long heat sequencer. But if you did like a 30-second, you just stocked 30-second heat sequencers on your truck. You know what I mean? So it comes on fairly quickly, the fan.
I don't think it would matter any on an air handler. I mean, what's the difference? Or just put a contactor in there if you really want to. Instantaneous.
Then it's loud. Whenever it starts, it's like.
That's right. That's train. That's train right there. They got to put their contactors in there. Is the heat on? Yep. Hey, one time I did a PSC motor change and I put the relay on the blower housing. It's an electric furnace and I used a 9340 relay, a double pole, double throw. I put it on there, and if you guys have used those a lot, you know they make a clicking sound.
Oh, yeah.
So I had it put it right on this blower housing, and this blower housing evidently was like a guitar housing. It was like, pow pow pow. Every time it came on, I was like, "What the blue hell?" And it was like, "That's just the thing coming on." Pow 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 pow. All right, well that'll be $350.
Yeah, you got this new noise.
How you know the heat's working? Pow pow pow. There it goes.
Yeah, it's working.
So the blower is. I don't know if the heat's working or not.
Yeah.
No, I think the sequencers. I mean, unless you have it specifically timed for an electric furnace, I never cared about it.
I can tell you, I've never in my life installed a sequencer.
No, me either. To be honest with you,
No.
when I'm trying to get the grasp of this. See, I could be the newbie. Just like guys in the chat who haven't done these either. If you don't want to do with heat strips, heat strips, because the element you affect the element. I'm assuming. You want a chance to cool down, or you don't want to.
You want them to cool down, and you also want them to come on quick enough where they're not going to trip a limit, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, of course.
So is the sequencer set up just for like different stages of heat strips then?
Well,
Yeah,
they have
they can
staged.
be.
They have like double stacks, triple stacks. You can get different.
Okay. Because I'm thinking of almost like a delay for a blower, like your heat strips come on, to kind of warm everything up a little bit, and then
That's kind of how it works. Like when you send voltage to like control voltage to a heat sequencer, the heat sequencer is actually warming up. And
yeah, it's got a little element inside there, and that bimetal clicks and then opens up.
Yeah, it has little ceramic push rods inside of it.
But so is there something like that for the blower in these that'll kick the blower on after
They
a
have
certain
used
delay?
those for blowers. I mean, Adam's favorite equipment, Goodman's, for a long time they used blower relays that were basically heat sequencers, and they were very dependable.
I actually just fixed a. I don't know. I have on my channel. Here's a plug for my 7 videos.
Slow down.
Go ahead.
I did a extremely high end wine room, and we did the refrigeration for the wine room, and so he wanted like a really nice looking thermostat inside the wine room. If you saw the cabinetry, you'd understand everything is handmade, custom made, custom sanded, stained, everything. Ridiculous amount of money on this wine room, what the guy spent. And so we ended up putting in a copper Nest thermostat in the wine room. Okay. Something with Nest, when it's running at really cold temperatures, like 55 degrees or something, it starts acting a little wonky. All right. We were having issues with the fan center, like chattering. It would be like click on, click off, click on, click off, click on, click off. But there was always constant voltage. So if I jumped the thermostat out, it would run perfectly without the Nest in there. Something was interfering with the Nest. So the only thing I could think to do is either number one, replace the thermostat with something that didn't look quite as nice, have eat the cost of the thermostat, or I was thinking about some type of time delay relay. But what I ended up doing was took the control voltage from the Nest and hooked it up to a heat sequencer, because it takes time for it to open up, and then it wouldn't chatter because it takes time for it to reclose again. And
that's a good idea.
No clicky.
Awesome.
Bill, is your mom watching?
Possibly.
It says, hello, Bill, love mom.
Oh, yeah, that's my mom.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Shout out to my mom.
Everybody, make sure we're cool. Be cool.
Make sure you guys aren't swearing and all that stuff.
Not anymore.
Yep.
Hopefully you don't get your facial hair from her.
No. No, I get that from a long line of bluegrass folk that came down from the mountains.
It's a nice story.
Yeah.
But, getting back to motors stuff.
Yeah.
We kind of got off subject there. I feel motors.
It's the mom distraction.
Yeah, we're swerving off. Let's get out of my personal life.
Everybody saying hi to her.
All right, motors. Go, Bill. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. Oh, I made it questions now.
Ooh.
Do it.
No. Besides all the other questions I have about actual residential motors and how they work in the different various applications. So between PSC motors and ECM motors, which one do you guys replace the most of? Is there an average PSC motors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they're probably old, right?
Yeah, they're old.
Just because they're old?
Right. I think so. I mean, I think we're going to see a drastic change to that now that all furnaces have gone over to X13, right? And I think that the high static is going to be murder on these new motors, Yeah.
All right, let's fine tune the question. Which motor is more reliable, standard PSC or X13?
I think ECM.
I think ECM as well.
Yeah.
Okay, X13s or variable speed, or both are more reliable?
I think variable speed.
Yeah, variable speed.
Variable speed.
Yeah.
X13s aren't variable speed motors?
No, they're single speed ECMs.
To be honest with you, just by knowing how the motors start, it's going to be a better motor. You're not getting that. What is that? That load. What do they call it? The load. Inrush. Bam! Right away. It's not abusing that motor. You're getting a nice soft start. You're modulating. You're getting better comfort levels. You're not just off on, max low.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? You know you're bound to have some strain there and comfort.
So
And I bet it has a lot to do with the environment. Like if you take an ECM motor and you put it in a high static situation, it's going to fail just as well as a PSC motor.
Yes, but I think the ECM, my opinion, I think the ECM still has a little bit more forgiveness, but
Yeah,
me.
I can vary it a little bit.
Yeah.
The X13s, I think I don't think they're very good at all. I think the variable speed very good. I really think as long as the duct system is good.
Yes.
I've seen the X13s die for no apparent reason because I designed the duct system and they died. We designed it to be good. It was really good. It was really good duct system.
Now,
it's a question for Superior. I don't know. I know he does a lot of York. I don't know how long he's been doing them, but maybe around 10 years or so ago, York, when they came out with their 33-inch Xfinity. No,
something like that.
where the 33-inch furnace,
Yeah.
the modulating furnace, they had two different variations of the modulating furnace. One was a variable speed furnace, and the other was a PSC that varied. Okay? They had speed taps, but you're not supposed to move the speed taps. They would fluctuate kind of like a rheostat. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
A rheostat or rheostat?
Whatever. Got the idea.
You know what I'm saying? It varies, I believe, the voltage, or I can't remember how it does. It's been a long time, but
hey, quick shout out to Nathan, Clint, and Chris Tavanovich for those awesome super chats.
Yeah.
Honestly,
we made our money back on the whole big picture.
I mean, we just got to return it back to Chris anyway because we keep saying big picture diagnosis. But
I hate to interrupt for a second, but I did receive an invoice from Chris. He took the time to make this invoice. So I would like to say he sent it. It says big picture diagnosis mention fee, $500. So the rates have changed. And it says pay up sucka. That's SUCKA with some punctuation. He's serious. So I just want to let you guys know that.
well, hey, you get what you pay for. Good service ain't cheap, and cheap service ain't good. So, however that applies to using the phrase "big picture diagnosis."
Damn it, Bill. Big picture troubleshooting. Let's look at some variables here.
Buy cheap, get cheap.
Large picture diagnosis. Come on, just a little bit gives us leeway in court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my!
Wow!
You guys are nuts, man.
Hold the phone.
That's awesome.
And call your
Curtis.
What happened now?
We're back in the black.
A
Back
$100 super chat from Curtis, who has been drinking evidently today.
Thank God.
Yeah, he is hammered drunk.
God.
We might be able to buy Joe a coat now.
I'd like
Shoes.
Tiny Tim from Canada can get a new coat. Thank you, baby Jesus.
Nathan, Chris, man, you guys are awesome. Clint, that's awesome.
The
Clint,
massive
Nathan.
picture. Guys, awesome.
Curtis.
Yeah, we're up in the 70s for viewers too, man. I was like,
Hey.
man, let's try to get to 80 viewers this week. That would be awesome. We're so close.
It would be.
How much
Yeah.
you want to bet Curtis is still laughing from whatever he heard like 5-10 minutes ago? I met him one time, and I don't know nothing about him because he wouldn't stop laughing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had some good
That dude's
chats. I
hilarious.
started laughing the same way. He just has that vibe.
Curtis is
Yeah.
the
That's
best.
awesome, though.
He's the best.
Yeah.
We had a
He's
whole
the
podcast
man.
about Burger King. So it was awesome.
Oh. Did you guys talk about the Impossible Whopper?
No, that wasn't out of the time, but I do want to try
okay,
that
that
just to
was-
say I hate it.
That was pre-Impossible Whopper times.
I remember your the Man with Issues episode you did with Curtis.
Oh, you do remember with the bowel trouble and stuff? Whoa, Chris matched Curtis.
Wow. Nice.
Okay.
Wow.
Drop them. I wish I could get this mic and drop it. Just to drop it.
Well, you
Oh,
can
I-
drop it because we can buy you a new one now.
Yeah, honestly, I just want to drop it.
I got it.
No, Adam.
Do it.
No, no,
Yeah,
Adam.
Do it.
Not
No,
to
no,
take
not
away
that one. Not
Chris's-
that one.
No.
Maybe this one. Not that one.
Where's the Behringer?
No, honestly, that's awesome, guys. Oh my
Not to
God,
take
we
away
appreciate
Chris's
it.
thunder, but he's just going to make that money back by us keep using big picture diagnosis.
No.
See.
Oh.
I
Did
do
you
want to
guys
say we're not paying the invoice with the money you're giving us. We're keeping the money.
Did you guys want to take a couple callers and see what
Well,
they got to
let's
say
set up
about
a-
motors or anything?
Payment
Sure, we don't
plan.
have any phones, but yeah,
Are they calling? What's the phone number?
their
Yeah,
phone number.
Put the number on. Let's hear about these motor
There's no
experiences.
phone. There's no phone here, Joe.
Yeah, I need somebody to come in here and educate
Or
me more.
comment
about
live
residential
stream.
motor.
Sorry.
You see it's blue. Now I'm doing this in honor of talking about furnaces and motors. This is Coors. Coors, the family Coors, also makes hot surface igniters.
Huh.
So what is that? Judging by the blueness, that's about what, 7 degrees of subcooling in that can?
Beer can, put your hand around it.
And cold.
It's about 7 degrees right there.
To warn everybody watching, I'm changing the screen over so I can get an invite to put in the chat. So you're going to see the thumbnail screen while we're talking.
I can't believe these guys still. They're awesome. Class acts.
Mm-hmm.
Class acts.
Keep on talking. Fill in the blank spaces. Let's do it.
Class action lawsuit. I got a letter from House Call Pro, not from a lawyer, saying if House Call Pro has called you, you may be entitled to money. You think I get my $2?
Nah, you wouldn't even get $2. You get $1.50.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
they'll probably pay in Canadian money too, just to drive it home.
Ooh.
A couple loonies and toonies.
It's House. I don't know if House Call Pro is in like Canada, but if they were, they could use that as their rebuttal. We're Canadian.
So I got some general residential questions because I'm a curious guy, right? So how often do you guys come into... Actually, you know what? I'm going to start charging somebody. Whenever I say that, somebody's got to pay me some money for using my own catchphrase. But how often do you guys come across high static situations in customers' homes?
Every house.
Every house, huh? Like that's
you want to hear something?
Such an impossible problem to fix. Other than like, how do you address that problem? Besides,
not necessarily. I mean, you could do some minor modifications sometime and get away with it. Like especially
cut
where
some
we're
holes and add some like return vents.
Return duct is the easiest way to go.
Yeah.
Especially in basements. I started saying that earlier. Actually, number one, when we were doing those energy efficiency things, we'd either, if they had a media filter, we'd always pull out the media filter and put it in a 1-inch like cheap fiberglass.
Absolutely.
Or depending on, we always looked at what is the most bang for the buck. Okay, you could see pressure drop across the coil. You need to clean the coil. Your supply duct, you just check the supply duct after the coil. What is your static at that point? If you got a 0.25, maybe you put in a big 10-inch supply in the basement or something like that, or vice versa on the return. You know what I mean? We would always try to get the best bang for the buck by where are we going to eliminate as much static? You know what I mean?
You know, like you said, returns, media filter. But when you come to a house that has the nagging situation and they are aware of it and they want you to fix it, that's a tough position to be in.
What's the most common symptom?
A lot of them. Sorry, Bill. Yeah, well, a lot of them don't even know they're high static, and you just go with the flow. But the ones that know,
you have bad airflow in certain areas of the house.
Yeah,
low saturation temperature.
It's a noisy system.
Yeah. Yep.
The door sucking when you go up to the furnace. We're trying to suck air from everywhere because there's so much pressure on it.
Yeah. You probably get free humidity as well.
And now you could go out like you have your gauges on and cooling or something like that, and you go out to the condenser and it's like 75 degrees inside or 80 degrees, and your suction pressure is like for R22 like 62, or for 410A it's like 105 or something. It's just a low saturation for the temperature inside.
Inside the house, yeah.
Superior is saying he's starting to do a static test for all of his estimates. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, it is.
Think on top of that, I would also, because you're not 100% sure what the airflow is, and you might be increasing the airflow if you're putting in a variable, you almost need to do a hot wire. You know what I mean? Somehow check the airflow if you're doing a temporized or whatever. I think you need to check the airflow, because if you're shooting for 1200 CFM and you're only delivering 1000 CFM, just because you're getting decent static on the current system doesn't mean you're going to get good static on your new system, right?
You know,
that's right.
That's a good point. That leads me to one of my 4 stories I have with split systems, kind of touching in the residential world. I went to it's kind of like an old folks home, smaller, not a huge like apartment complex, sort of a smaller old folks home. And they had a split system that they wanted just swapped out. They like for like, they were going to provide the equipment and everything like that. And the old system, the compressor was dead, shorted out, air handler still worked. And so we went in there, pulled the new one out, put the new one in, or pulled the old one out, put the new one in, and charged it up, and everything was seemingly okay. But we had some capacity issues where it couldn't actually maintain temperature or bring the temperature down to where they wanted it to. And I think when I checked the static, finally, it was like 0.8, 0.9. It was very high static, and
I want to get that.
Sorry, guys.
Pizza Hut, can I take your order?
Yeah, your static's pretty high.
Yeah.
What you're going to want to do here, okay? Just stay with me. We have a great comment out there. How can you do a static pressure test on an old furnace with shitty, not my word, blower? Because if he has it on low speed, well, this is not really real. If he has it on low speed, I mean, it wouldn't tell you anything. Because what if you have 0.5 on low speed?
Yeah.
You get the large picture troubleshooting, okay, guys?
Mhm.
Large picture
big
troubleshooting.
square,
You
big
need to know the
square
CFM.
diagnosis.
Like Adam said, you have to know the CFM, not just the static pressure. Unless you have the blower chart on you from the 20-year-old furnace.
But no, I think that's a good point because, like in my situation, I don't think whoever sized it originally, I don't think they sized it properly, and I basically walked into a pre-existing problem that I wasn't aware of because I didn't do any sort of testing before I said, yeah, we'll swap it out like for like. You provide the equipment. It did kind of save us because they provided the equipment, so we didn't have to eat too much of the bullet there.
So another question, I watched a YouTube video today by the controversial, what's his name? Corbett Lungston.
Controversial.
Corbett Munsford and
I
so
don't even know. Yeah. Muffin and Sons.
And he mentioned, which I think is true, as far as permitting goes in the future, like different areas of the country are requiring a load calculation on every single job, right? I do think that at some point, every township, it's going to be like a national law. You're going to have a load calculation on everything. So my question to you guys on the load calculation, which this comes into airflow and everything, because now if you are required to have a higher load, bigger equipment, it's going to hurt your airflow if your duct system is not able to support your new motor, right? So if that is required, is that something that you think heating and air guys are going to actually do? Do you think they're going to farm it out? Do you think they're going to have somebody in-house? As far as
I think they won't get a permit any longer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
I'm looking for.
Yeah. Truthfully, I mean, a lot of places don't have permitting anyway for certain level jobs, like below a certain cash amount. But, you add extra steps that people, quote, think are pain in the ass. I don't think they're going to get a permit for it.
Yeah, there's one.
Good call.
And the homeowner will just say, yeah, I did it.
Joe said, good call, man. He's down with that.
Yeah.
No permits
like
here, man.
We don't need permits down here. Up here.
Well, who knows what the
I mean, that would be a
orientation is
lot for the
real.
home inspectors to go around in police as well. They would have to, every county's going to have to bump up their home inspector staff, I guess.
Up the blower door with your load calc. So we had actually a house I just worked on yesterday, installing an indirect Wild McLean Aqua Plus 55 tank. We replaced two split systems there, and the guy just bought the house and he wanted to replace both systems, so we did. We actually bumped up the size for the second and third floor to a 4-ton because you want to go with the 2-stage, and everyone knows with the 2-stage you don't get half-size tons, right? Mm-hmm. It's either 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the only way you could buy them. So it was a 3.5, I believe, that was in there, and he had problems when it's super hot outside cooling the second and third floor. I looked at it, everything was running perfectly. We're actually running a little bit of high static. It's not terrible, but I did the BTU output calculation. That's before I had Measure Quick or anything like that, and he didn't believe me. He thought I didn't know what I was doing or whatever. So we called out an Amana factory rep or whatever, and he came out and he looked at it. He's like, dude, this thing's run beautifully. This is like perfect. And then to satisfy him, I called in. We did a blower door on the house. Wasn't too bad, but we did a duct blasting test. Okay. It didn't even register on the scale. That's how leaky the ductwork is.
Wow.
All turns were panning all the way up to the third floor. It was awful. So
what sort of
built in 2008, like probably $1 million house with awful ductwork.
Wow, 2008? That ain't good.
I bet he had a 95%er on there too.
Yep.
You should have bought an 80%er for that sort of situation.
That's
Waste
what
your
I'm
money
saying.
on
That's what I'm saying, bro.
crap ductwork.
We're back on this again.
Yeah.
Did you put the link up for anybody to come in for a few minutes?
I did. I'll put it up again, actually. If you
So
want
in
to
that
come in here for a
situation,
few
Adam,
minutes, guys.
in that situation, Adam, what sort of remedies can you offer that guy besides just
I told
yanking
him,
everything out, like seal it up?
I told him, you know, you have a couple options. Number one, you could attempt to have AeroSeal come in
Oh dear.
and perform their
Inside.
service on the ductwork, but AeroSeal, I don't remember what the number is, but it won't seal up more than like, what is it, 3/8 of a hole or half?
Inch.
I think that's about right.
I thought they did up to a quarter or something. What was it? I thought they fill up to like a quarter. I
But
don't know. I could be wrong.
It won't
Wait, is
seal
it-
that 4-inch circle they forgot to cover.
right.
Yeah. Right.
So that
Oops.
was his first. That was the first option. Number two, I said we could start cutting open walls, getting rid of all of this joist panning. I could run hard pipe up to each individual run. I'm like, you're going to be having drywall work, repainting, all that kind of stuff. Or we could put in like a multi-zone mini split on the second and third floor to try to help out with those days. And he said, thank you. And that was it. And then he called and said, my water heater is leaking. Can you help me? A year and a half later.
We can AeroSeal that water heater, bro. $20,000.
So did he ever address that problem?
No, he's still living with it. It's fine until you're above like 95 degrees.
Yeah,
And then,
when you really need it.
and then the third floor is like 80 degrees, and he can't get the second floor under 76, I believe, something like that.
Mm.
You know, you go to these old houses, and honestly, you could just walk on the floor barefoot and realize what's going on. You know, where you feel.
Do
Go
you-
ahead.
when like someone's calling you and
Yeah.
you have issues, you're like, hang on a second. He busts off the shoes, take off the socks, and starts
Got
walking.
got the headband in.
Is that how you diagnose stuff, Joe?
Yeah, listen, bare feet, guys.
Hold
bare
on,
feet.
let me put my tootsies on it.
Don't forget the
Save the
headband.
earth. I could feel it through my feet, guys. You have bad plenum.
Just imagine Joe like laying on his back in the grass with his feet on the condenser. Be like, yeah, your condenser's plugged up here, guy. it's superheats real low, moving his feet around.
Because you're leaning on it.
Yeah.
Steve Demansky.
Yep.
Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. But he
Too
said
late.
throw his own system in there. It's zoned. The second and third floor is zoned.
Yeah.
It's currently zoned, and it still does not work right.
That's tough.
He is not moving the amount of airflow up to the second and third floor, period. It's all in his walls. He's
What if you
literally
just put another furnace up there, air handler, and
That's what. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would start looking into that. Like maybe
of course,
even
then
high
you still have to
velocity.
open up a wall and tap into the ductwork and add to it or something.
Then you're
It's been-
oversized on the other end.
Yeah.
How about the attic?
there's no attic. It's a finished off space on the third floor. Every inch of the house is finished.
Mm.
Except, well, the basement's not finished, and you can see all the ductwork. And the funny thing is, which I know they were having the issues before the guy bought the house, because the first floor system, none of the ductwork is taped or sealed, mastic, anything, anywhere. And all of the duct runs running in the basement until they jog up to the second floor, they're all taped. So why is one system taped and the other system is not? You know,
Because they
So
try
they
to
went with
fix
the
it.
lowest bidder.
Try
Yeah.
to-
Yeah. That's a tough one. And you hope when you go into somebody's house, I hope when I'm doing the little side things that they say, oh yeah, we're having issues of velocity on the third floor, this, and that. I'm like, oh.
That's what happens when you call Kmart HVAC.
Yeah. You know?
Kmart.
I don't know why that's funny. Came
Low-
right HVAC.
Dizzy Dallas is saying low NOx rules.
Really?
Well, no, he's saying with the new low NOx rules. We don't have low NOx rules. When I get these low NOx furnaces, I rip all that crap right off of them and quiet these things down.
Is he saying low NOx rules like regulations, or he's like low NOx
No.
rules?
No, he's not. He's saying with the low NOx rules, regulations.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Wait, what are these low NOx rules?
Oh, it's the furnace they came up with Cali, right? Like
I think it's California.
Huh.
They don't cause cancer in California.
The one thing in California that doesn't cause answer.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
Who would have thunk?
I try not to thunk.
Yeah, I try not to think too much.
I put a link in there for Dallas in case he wanted to explain a little bit more about the California stuff.
Yeah, he should come in. Dallas is awesome.
I'm
curious to know.
He's not a stranger to live events, so absolutely.
Yeah.
Randy's asking me if I had experience with April Air thermostats. I have. I don't remember what model they were. I don't really especially like April Air thermostats. I like Honeywell. I like the 5000. I would use those forever. Motor.
Yeah.
I remember on a Honeywell or an April Air thermostat right when I was getting into it and I was starting to run calls on my own. I learned there was I ran a call and I still remember to this day. This is how I figured it out for myself. Nobody taught me this. I mean, this is going to sound basic to everyone else, but the customer was saying the fan comes on right away with the furnace and, there's no delay. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, sure as crap. It's coming on right away. I'm getting power to G. I don't understand it. Renditions of the April Air thermostat. There was a little switch in there and it said E or G. I'm like, I wonder what this is. And I flipped it. And then I figured out thermostats have an electric and gas setting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Gas heat, electric heat.
It's true. Sometimes you have those dip switches that I forget about on some of these thermostats. You had to hit those. Like the O and B for the reversing valve on the heat pumps. They used to have, some of them were internal, like you'd have to take the faceplate off the thermostat and actually hit a dip switch. If you forget about it, you turn the system on, it'll be blowing out heat in the middle of the summertime. Like, what the hell's wrong with the system? And you start bitching about the unit. It's like, man, this thing's got a stuck reversing valve. I'm going to yell at fill in the blank, Ari Michael Johnstone, whoever you bought it from. Then you realize you set the stupid thermostat up wrong.
Yeah, part of me wants to move down to the south just to get some experience on these heat pump things you guys are talking about.
Man, it's just like 2 or 3 components. That's really all
a
there
little
is
bit
to
different.
it. It's the reverse
The running
valve
pressures.
rerouting.
I think the running pressures are the thing that really confuses me with your common suction line and your 2 TXVs and all that crazy stuff and your fancy motors.
Hey, you do refrigeration. I mean, in the wintertime, a heat pump is an evaporator on the outside running in a very cold environment. It's not going to be too dissimilar from some of the pressures you're probably used to seeing already. And I know they used to use R22 in coolers and stuff like that. I don't know how prevalent that is anymore, but they used to have it in there. It's really not that bad. It really is. You'd have it in a week, Bill. You'd be done and be like, this was easy. I'm going back north.
I gotta quit. I gotta quit. Going back to the Arctic Circle of Michigan.
I don't know. With the temperatures in Chicago, I wouldn't want to be working on a heat pump in the middle of winter.
No.
Hell no. I don't want to work on a heat pump down here in the winter, and it's like 35 degrees outside.
I'll stick to my indoor heat pumps.
I'll tell you the truth. A lot of times I'm only wearing like a thermal. Most of the time I'm only wearing like a thermal sweatshirt because the only time you're cold is walking from the truck to the house.
Motors.
Hey, speaking of motors, I had a inducer motor today that kind of threw me for a loop.
Was it a PSC
really?
or
Why?
a
What's
shaded
up?
pole?
What's that?
Was it a PSC or shaded pole or what? Split
It was a PSC, and it had a Hall effect sensor on it. It was a what was it? Carrier something.
BDC.
Yeah, Carrier TCED or whatever it was. And first time I ever had a Hall effect sensor go bad on me, and I had to call tech support. And amazingly, I actually found somebody from Carrier tech support that answered the phone, and they were able to help me through. But any of you guys ever mess with those Hall effect sensors?
I would like to answer. I had a fun time one time on a BDP package unit, which is Carrier Bryant Day and Night Pain package unit, gas pack, and it had one of the sensors on there. And at the time, I wasn't very familiar with it. I kind of deduced that that's what it was for. It was sensing the rotation. So the inducer motor was totally trashed. It was rotted out. It was rusted. The wheel was like, there's like one spoke left spinning around. It was like, whenever you turned it on. So I went and got a whole new assembly. When it came back, it didn't have any instructions. And there was like all these wires coming out of the inducer. Before there was 3, now there's 4 wires, and there's no labeling on it at all. So I'm sitting here like, how many ohms is this thing? And first time I turned it on, it was like running at like 1/3 the speed it was supposed to run. But I was trying to remember how many ohms go between the legs of the motor. Trying to figure it out. It took 2 tries, but I finally got it.
Nice. Didn't burn it up, huh?
I didn't burn it up, but man, it definitely wasn't getting enough gas out of that heat exchanger because it smelled bad.
Oh, yeah.
There was
I imagine.
4,000 parts per million CO for like 4 minutes there.
Smells like a carrier.
Carrier.
Well,
It was an
this
improvement on normal carrier stuff.
like this Hall effect sensor that Tech Support had me test, it was it's kind of odd. They have you remove the W1 and W2 call to diagnose it, so you don't have any call for heat. Leave the unit powered up, and then on the Hall effect sensor, there's 3 wires. There's a white, red, and a black from the top to the bottom, and you put your meter leads in the white and the black, and you slowly spin the inducer by hand, just like with your finger, to slowly spin it. And you want to watch your DC voltage go from less than 1 to 8-ish, down to less than 1, 8-ish, back and forth like that. If you get that, your Hall effect sensor is good. If not, it's bad. And mine was bad. I was like, well, that's literally the first time I've ever had to work on one of those.
That is a great tech tip right there, Bill.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And until then, I didn't even know how Hall effect sensors really worked, but had to do a little bit of Googling on the fly before I called tech support, so I didn't sound like a dumb shit.
When I hear Holoflex, I think about those stickers that used to like change colors.
Or I think about Hall's cough drops.
Joe thinks about his
yeah.
favorite band, Hall & Oates.
Have you work on a
Joe's like, who the hell?
Shut it.
have you worked on a modulating furnace that has a pressure transducer to control the draft motor?
Nope.
No, who makes those?
Yeah, why did they make those?
York.
Yak.
York.
Pressure transducer?
Yeah. Those are
Enlighten me on this. I'm curious now.
Yeah.
So I believe it's been a while. I haven't done anything York for many years now, but I believe it's monitoring the pressure of the exhaust and the gas pressure as well at the same time. I believe it might be one or the other, but that's how it varies the speed on the modulating furnace. So we'll ramp down because
it must be gas. And
what it does is it will initially ramp up, make the pressure switches, and then it will keep ramping down, and you'll lose the pressure switch. The pressure switches will open, but they'll continue to run with open pressure switches. And it does that by looking at the pressure transducer.
So what's the point of like ramping down?
That's what I was going to ask.
On a modulating furnace, you start off at what, 30% or 30%?
Oh, gotcha.
You light it, I don't know, certain furnaces are 100% or 80%, whatever, and then it ramps all the way down. Most furnaces have algorithms, and they will ramp up based on the last demand of the heating call. I don't know if any other furnaces have real-time communication. I know Train does, where if you open the front door of your house, it will see a big cold draft, and it will immediately go up to 100%, trying to overcome that. If you have like an algorithm-based furnace, it will continue to slowly ramp up, even if your house is being pounded by cold, because it's all based on the previous call.
Useless information. I'm just kidding. That was great. No, that was
good. That was good. That was good.
Moral of the story is, don't buy a York.
Right.
I thought that was that's another good tech tip right there.
Yeah,
That's
that
good.
is a good tech tip. You're right, Zach.
We have someone that wants to talk here. It's a brand new person that's never been here before.
Chris is brother from a different mother.
Look at
Hey,
I'm
the twin-
the cool kids too, because like I keep the tag on my hat. See,
It's my twin.
Oh, not the tag on still.
but I don't get the concept of leaving the sticker on there. Like I want to leave the price tag because I
Yeah,
stole
you got to leave the tag on there.
like that.
It
Yeah.
should have came with us. You should just put a sticker on the bill
Hold
just
on,
to make it cooler.
wait, give me a second.
It's been a
Yeah,
cute.
that's a good call. Yeah.
With that,
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Now, is
No,
it the
that's
top
cool.
or the bottom? Or which is cooler? I don't know. I see at the top and I see the bottom sometimes.
I got to show the shape of my cool head now and take my glasses off so you guys can see the shininess. No, I have a question for you guys. So we don't really know what heat is running the heaters and different. I mean, it's 65 degrees today. Okay, we get it, and we got our long sleeves on. See, there you go, Adam. You're the real cool guy. But so
Look at what Joe's wearing.
especially for you, though, and maybe you, Bill, maybe you, Adam, too. But I mean, like if you have a gas-fired package unit on the roof of like a restaurant or commercial building, I mean, is that thing pretty much running all day long? Or cycling multiple times a day? See, for me, they literally, like if the heater turns on, it'll run for 4 minutes and then cycle and then turn on another half an hour later and run for another 4 minutes. Well, building temperature changes.
I will answer that sort of question / statement with an amazing story.
Go for it.
So I have a customer, it's a dollar store, and they have an energy management company in place. And over the last year or two, this company has been absorbed by a much larger company. They have come in and they had their engineers go through all the energy management settings, and they've changed all the heat settings to a 1 degree dead band. So at this particular location, the furnaces are constantly short cycling. The set point is 66 and it's a 1 degree dead band. So it's 65. So it's up 66, shuts off, cools down 65, heats up. So in this particular location, it's on, off all day long. I have some other locations like some pet stores that are much smarter, I guess, and they don't have such a narrow dead band, which it seems nuts to me. But with those stores, like say they're set to 70, they have a 3 or 4 degree differential on there. They'll heat up, shut off, and cycle, I don't know, maybe every half hour or so, 45 minutes.
Okay.
But they don't run constantly, like nonstop. But
I imagine it would dry everything out really bad if it did all the time, I mean, if you're doing gas fired. But I mean, and a lot of the stuff too that I deal with, again, I don't do residential. So most of our package units, the buildings aren't sized for heat. So the heat is always oversized massively. We're all sized for cool, and you just kind of run with whatever came with the heat, and that kind of gets people by. But I mean, I've come on buildings that have been installed for 20 plus years and second stage heat has never been hooked up,
Wow.
and we do just fine. Yeah.
I went to a...
It's probably going to cause more heat exchanger problems because I would assume because they short cycle like crazy. And if I'd imagine, or if second stage even came on, I guess, I don't know, but yeah.
I can't even imagine you guys ever needing second staging.
So on a package unit, what is the smallest heat strip you could add?
I've only ever seen heat strips on a package unit one time.
Bill, was yours I guess you can say this, because you're not seeing the customer, but was it a Mills mall, out of curiosity?
No, it was like Lockwood or something.
Oh, okay. I'm
goofy.
curious because we have a huge mall, and I think I've been to 2 malls that are owned by the Mills company, and I've noticed that again, California is kind of weird, but they don't have any heat, and everything, it was all straight cool, and then they just had strip heat. And in the buildings that I've worked on in that mall, which has only been 2 or 3 customers, we've never even had the strip heat hooked up, so they don't even run them because it does, inside the mall, there's so many people in there that they don't even need heat.
Yeah.
Now, I imagine the mall heaters, the actual facility for the mall heaters, maybe the entryways and stuff run, but in the interior stores that I've dealt with at my particular malls, never used the heat before.
The weird thing was at this mall, I kind of walked around the large circle of the mall, just kind of looking at all the other units and taking selfies and whatnot, like a normal person does. And I couldn't see any other rooftop unit that was basically equipped with, heat strips. All of them had the gas lines were outside of the units, none of them coming up through the units. So I just walked around and gas line. That was the only unit in that particular part of the mall that was set up that way, electric heat strips. I don't know if it was an afterthought where they're like, yeah, just throw it up there. I mean, there was a gas line nearby they could have easily tapped into. I just really don't understand the thinking behind that.
Joe. Oh, sorry.
If you have a package unit that you're saying is short cycling because of the, it's trying to keep it directly at whatever the set point is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a 3-ton, say you have a 3-ton, or if you have 5-ton, what is the BTU on the gas side, right? Would you be better off, because obviously the heating side usually is oversized. It is even by us, when we're doing like a rooftop unit on a whatever, not a strip mall, but you know what I'm talking about. The gas is usually oversized. You always size it for cooling. Would it be better off installing a heat pump there to get longer runtime?
You mean as a supplemental or just in place of that?
for mostly in place of the gas. I mean, I guess you could still have gas connected, but obviously 5 tons of, cooling, if your heat pump is going to output a lot less.
I think you'd be better off to go with like just a 2-stage package unit with if it's sized properly, have a 2-stage and
just kill second stage.
Yeah, just set your deadband up a little bit better than having a 1 degree deadband, so it's not on off like that. I think it'd be better off doing it that way.
I was gonna say who sets these, because a few contracts we have for rooftops, they don't have any of these differential switches, but the package units we do, like for desert air, pool pack, and all that stuff, we have differential switches, and we can manipulate them and trick them not to come in or come on. You can almost differentiate, whatever you want to call it.
Defibrillate.
Yeah, they can almost make it come on all the time. You just trick the logic. So I was wondering who's setting these differentials, and can you trick it to just?
I mean, like in the story that I told?
Yeah.
On the story I told, the people that control all those, they are way out in Arizona, I believe.
Well, it's like a communication system. I gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a big compound out in Arizona that just monitors all these locations, and they pre-program everything a certain way, and they just kind of monitor it and watch it until it fails, and they call us when it does.
Slap a mercury thermostat on it, call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put a heat-only thermostat on there and wait till the summertime.
So now, Joe, in my situation, I have 2 restaurant chains that have EMS, and they're using the energy, or they're using internet-based thermostats. And one of them I can access and change the settings, but the other one, another company can access, and it's just a same thing. It's a guy in Arizona who just has his own company, and he just sits there and controls everything. And it's interesting. I don't know if you've run into this, Bill, but I've had to go and talk to the EMS guys and say, hey, I need the indoor fans running 24/7. And then I have to convince them, like, I need my fans running all the time. And they're like, why? I don't understand. And then I have to explain to them the whole process of the balance. And yeah.
Well, I've had similar conversations with our energy management company, especially with that 1 degree deadband thing. Because I was in there trying to solve their issue of why it was so cold all the time. And that was part of the reason. But I had a conversation with them, and they basically said, no, we can't change anything. Like, not that we're not going to, it's like we can't, because Family Dollar, which is the name of the place there, they said, no, this is how we want it done. This is what our engineers said is best for the system. It's most efficient. We're going to save the most amount of money. So yeah, they won't listen to anything I say ever.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm surprised you can even get a hold of anybody.
Now, it's just for the heating. They were complaining about how about when it comes to cooling.
See, that's where I run into problems with the cooling, because I deal with that more, and I have to convince them, you can't set the thermostat at 76. Well, corporate wants it that way, but the customer's complaining to me. So what do you know? And it's like, so then I have to go over the heads of the EMS company and get a hold of area directors and stuff. You guys want me to fix it? I need the cooling set down to 73. It's the middle of the summer. It's 115 outside. We can't set it at 76. That's not,
Man, I'm surprised you can even get a hold of anybody, because I have that same exact situation. So every summer, at the beginning of cooling season, every summer, we have, the first couple of weeks where we basically have to go around to all these stores and re-educate them on how their systems are set up and how we don't actually control any of it, and they can't control any of it either. And we have the same problem, like set point is 76. First stage cooling comes on at 76. Second cooling first stage comes on at 73, I think it was. Yeah, 73, and the second stage comes on at 76. But you come to some of these old stores that have been refurbished, and they're dilapidated, and they've opened up walls in these strip malls and made them bigger, and now they're no longer sized properly. So now you have these awful set points, and say the store hits 73, stage 1 cooling comes on, but again, it's undersized now for this particular location because maybe they've knocked down some walls, and stage 1 cooling comes on. It might be able to, maintain it at 73, but it's 95 degrees outside, so the temperature in the store climbs up to 74 or 75. Stage 1 cooling has enough capacity to kind of maintain about 74 or 75. So stage 2 never actually kicks on, so it never actually reaches its set point temperature. Does that make any sense?
Motors.
Crickets.
So,
Motors.
So so essentially, the second stage is not coming on because it's too close to the first stage. Sub point.
No, exact opposite.
Okay. I try to save it.
Yeah, you did.
Way to
I
end the
tried.
conversation.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know a couple of my favorite draft motors. Ready? Back to
Go for
motor
it.
Zach.
Fast
Yeah,
go.
go.
Those big 90% black carrier
Hey,
motors.
Whoa.
PC.
Where was that going?
Oh, why we got to be black? I don't know. Ask carrier.
No,
a
90%.
BBM?
It's impolite to call things 90%. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, sorry.
We're take it.
Those things suck. Speaking of which, all carrier draft motors suck, in my opinion. IMO. I
On the commercial side, I really don't care for them, especially when you got to try to. You're better off on the commercial side on a package unit changing the entire assembly. So, hey, that's. Hold on, let me pull it out right now. We're gonna send
another one of my favorites.
Split that with me.
The variable draft motors, the other 90% carrier and Train made I think Train were the AUX furnaces, where it has like the square box on the draft motors. Those were junk, and the ones that Carrier made, was it GE or Gentech or whatever, they were also junk. Okay.
Thank you.
Gentech motors or
I can't remember who makes them, but they're garbage.
So, on your motor topic, something I was thinking about earlier. Okay, do you guys prefer using OEM? See, I deal with commercial stuff. So even in the residential side, do you prefer using OEM, or are you guys cool with using aftermarket and just figuring everything out on your own when it comes to motor replacements? Condenser fan motors, blower motors.
I think it's like, I always read the customer. Are they willing to spend the extra money for the OEM? You know, because I feel like we have a difference in like business for commercial versus residential, because the guy who you're talking to most of the time, he's not the guy flipping the bill. They just want to get the fix, right? I'm dealing with customers that, like, you give them a price and like, you know, and they freak out about the price. And what can you do? You know, you're not going to shave your labor off. You install a lesser motor.
the thing is, sometimes you have no choice, but you're stuck with getting the OEM motor. You know, like some of the big packages I'm working on from these systems, you can't get nothing but the OEM. They don't make an aftermarket. So you're stuck paying the high dollar, waiting the weeks, and you have to get it.
So for me, I got two ways to look at it. Number one, as a business owner, it's easier and safer for me to sell OEM. Not because of the money. Okay, forget about the money. It's easier to sell OEM because aftermarket, you have the potential of not paying attention to some key factors, and that if you deal with any factory motors, you know that, like, let's say you're dealing with a Train package unit, okay? It has a let's just say a 3rd horsepower condenser fan motor, but it's rated at 4.6 amps. That's more or less a 3/4 horsepower motor in an aftermarket. And so someone goes in and says, well, I'm going to match up the 1/3 horsepower, and they put in a 1/3 horsepower without paying attention to the amps. And then I'm out there warranting a motor because the tech didn't think about that or didn't pay attention to, you know, something strange like that. So it's easier and less thought goes into the fact. I just rather send him out there with the OEM motor because I know it's going to work in there and he doesn't have to put thought into it. Yes, he still has to check amps after or something like that, but at least he's not trying to engineer it. So as a business owner, that's how I'm looking at it when it comes to factory or OEM. And that kind of goes with almost anything I work on. I try to push factory as much as possible because there's less thought on the tech side, and, you know, just put it in, make sure it works, and be done.
I completely agree. I would love to do OEM all day long, but a lot of people aren't willing to pay for it. You know, if they could save 100, 150 bucks, they're going to save 100, 150 bucks. You always give them the option, right?
I lucked out in one of my main customers about 5 years ago. They came to us with just parts in general. And they said, from now on, we want you to buy your parts from this company, Partstown. Okay, they sell refrigeration parts, air conditioning parts, some air conditioning, but mostly refrigeration. But Partstown is OEM only. So they give you the OEM parts for everything. And the customer specifically said, we want OEM When it comes to air conditioning, refrigeration, ice machines, it doesn't matter. OEM only. Now, they've since kind of backed off that, but it's really easy for me now. All my quotes are just OEM everything. And it's just so much easier because there's less, I have enough stress I have to deal with, so it's less having to worry about someone sizing something right or picking the right aftermarket control or aftermarket motor or fan blade or whatever.
But watching some of your live streams, Chris, you've said a lot of times in the past that certain pieces of equipment, refrigeration wise, like the controls, are just junk OEM.
They are.
I've heard you say you'd prefer to, if it's in the warranty, whatever, you'd put an OEM on, but you would have a much more reliable control aftermarket that you'd prefer put on.
And it depends too on what it is. So if I'm working on, again, I didn't want to veer you guys off, but if we're working on a walk-in cooler and it has a remote bulb Johnson thermostat, yeah, that's an easy sell. No big deal. You can use an aftermarket, no big deal. But if I'm working on a reach-in cooler, I'm going to put in the factory coil sensing temp control or evaporator fan motor or whatever. Same thing. I had a guy the other day, we were working at a restaurant, evaporator fan motor failed, and I had an aftermarket. Well, the aftermarket was a 1/4 inch shorter on the stack of the motor, so therefore the fan blade sat up in the cone a 1/4 inch higher, so it wasn't moving airflow. And it's something as simple as that. People don't think about that. They put it in, and then now they have ISUP issues, and they wonder why. It's because it was an aftermarket motor. You go back in with the factory, it's a fatter motor. It's more expensive, but it fits, it spins, and it's less thought.
It's what it was designed with.
I have no problem. I can use aftermarket parts myself all day long. But when I've got multiple people out there doing that, then you start to question, did you put in the right one? Did you check this? And instead of micromanaging someone like that, saying, did you check this? Did you check that? Just send them with the OEM part, and you don't have to worry about asking them those questions. The only thing I'm asking them is, did you check the amps after you did it? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. Move on. Did you put it in the right direction? Yeah, But yeah, I mean, there's times where I'll use aftermarket, but for a business standpoint, yeah, it's easier to sell, or it's better to sell OEM for me, just because it's less stress.
Yeah.
I like to use only aftermarket parts.
Yeah, I mean, some people do,
Have y'all seen my videos? I don't do anything by the book. I open tremendous liability for myself.
I just watched Home Alone 1 with my kids the other day.
Where's this going? What the world?
Yeah.
The name of the Wet Bandits, their heating and air conditioning company.
What was it?
You wouldn't know the name of the Wet Bandits heating and air conditioning van that they
I
were
didn't know we
driving.
did this quiz anymore.
No, it wasn't a plumbing van.
Hey, hold on. It's a plumbing and heating van. Maybe we can give a prize away to anyone that knows this answer.
Oh my god.
A minute. They get a minute to answer. No Google search.
Of course they're gonna Google search it.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, we can't.
The squadron of cheaters.
That right now.
See?
And it came up right away?
Yeah, you just
Wow.
gotta do images. Instead of searching, just do images.
Oh yeah. I got it. Just
All
like
right.
everybody else just got it.
We won't give it away. Give any prizes.
It's okay.
Yeah, right.
Wink, wink.
I thought we were gonna give away a prize tonight.
We got
Pork
prizes for days.
Let's do
One
it.
days.
It's getting that time anyways. We've been on for a while. We should.
Mhm.
It's called OK. OHKAY. Heating and plumbing.
Okay.
Nice.
On a
Does that-
side note, there's a Netflix show, I think it's on Netflix, that goes into the movies of the 90s, I think, and Home Alone is one of them, but it breaks down the movies and breaks down what they went through and the actors and the process and how stressful it was. It's a pretty cool little thing, and it has a couple different movies. That one's one of them.
Cool.
Too bad I don't know the name.
Motors.
Motors.
I need me a good documentary about motors.
Motors.
You just watch this show over again, right? You'll be set.
Oh, yeah. Joe's not wearing a V-neck tonight.
Nope.
Is everything okay, man?
I'm going to wear a V-neck. I have a closet full of them. I just
Nice.
have to wear them on the thing.
We're wearing divert today.
I'm wearing pajamas.
Pajamas. Bill, you're well represented here with the hats.
Yeah.
I noticed, except for Joe. I guess Joe's the only hater of the group.
He's wearing
Yeah.
an orange bandana.
That's
It's
some
the
kind
color.
of medical
Similar
headpiece.
color.
I guess it's the color.
I
It's a
hear a
freaking
choo-choo train.
Somebody lives right behind a train, or
What is that? A train for real? Who's got a train?
I heard a
gotta be-
choo-choo train.
That's totally my house. I literally live about 14 feet away from a train track.
oh my
Mhm.
You see,
That's another reason why I need a forced air furnace in my house and get rid of this boiler so I can have forced air noises drowning out
Don't
this
take debate,
train.
Northerners. Don't take
You don't-
debate.
You know,
Dude, Bill, just hop on the train and ride the rails, dude. We can meet halfway, or you can be at HR, man. We got this.
Well, actually,
Right.
this train,
It's like
if I hopped on this train, I'd wind up where Joe lives.
I knew it.
Mhm.
Not want to. He doesn't want to add air conditioning to his forced air furnace, and
Nope.
so he's got this train 14 feet from his house. All he has to do is open the windows at night, and the train just zooms behind.
Give
Well,
it a-
I can't hear it in the summertime over my window shakers, just vibrating my windows, and it drowns out the train noises.
Nice.
A heat and air guy with window shakers.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
I don't know what's wrong with you, Bill, dude.
Zone
Get a
system.
dang air conditioner.
It's a zone system, Bill.
You know,
He's trying to play character to his kids.
that's what it is too. I'm like, you know what? We don't need air conditioning. You know, I don't need that carbon footprint on my mind. I want to be able to sleep at nights.
I gotta tell you guys that my our air conditioners probably run the worst when it comes to things, and my ductwork is messed up. My house is negative, but I have a 4-ton when it should be a 3-ton, and the ductwork isn't sized right. But the noise that it makes, my family relies on that noise. That's our alarm clock. I have the fan scheduled to turn off at 6 a.m. Boom, everybody wakes up, and my wife can't sleep without the fan running. She'll make me go turn the fan on. I can't sleep. It's so loud.
I haven't slept in 4 years.
Central air. So
When I first moved into the house, I had one of those. It's like I don't know, like a static noise app on my phone, and I just set it to fans, just so I could have the noise of a fan anyway. Yeah, it's a hard life.
Bill does not
Guys.
look like Rocky. Bill looks like what's the dude's name? Cheech and Chong.
Segway.
Oh,
Segway.
yeah. No, it's getting late. We gotta go. I gotta work tomorrow morning. I don't know about you guys. I think we should give away something and get out of here.
Well
See
done,
ya.
Joe. Well done, Joe.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. You want to give away 2 or 1?
Let's do 2. It's Christmas time. Let's do 2.
Well, it's just gonna be less, so it'll be worse Christmas for 2 people. Or good Christmas for 1.
We could look at it. It's like you can look at it both ways, I guess, right?
Yep. Let's look at the glass is half full. 2
That's
winners
right.
here, and it's the Nightbot winner.
Let's do
It's
it.
a hat full of stuff I don't like.
Chat away, everybody.
Chat.
Chatty chat. Motors of all kinds.
What's everyone's favorite motor?
My favorite motor is a PSC.
I actually have a favorite when it comes to like 3-phase motors. I really like the ball door motors. I've always liked those. They seem to work really well and last a very long time.
I used to have pajamas with a ball door on them.
Good one.
Hold on, let me go get my pants and I'll show you my pajamas with the ball door.
That might be the best one for the year right there. We got to hang on to that one.
I got pajamas with an ass door.
Not as good
Like
as
in the
ball door.
mountains.
Hey, why do they really put pajamas with an ass door? Are you really sitting on the toilet with your pants hanging behind
it's for
you? Like,
outside when you're escaping from bears.
Yeah, back in the day when they had outhouses.
yeah,
You-
bear coming.
And you don't want to take it all the way off because you'd freeze to death mid deuce.
Imagine
Yeah.
if it's dark and you're trying to rebutton that thing. I'd be like, honey,
yeah.
can you come button my ass door, please?
And she goes, "Oh, sweetie, you missed a spot. Hold on, give me some paper. Let me wipe that for you."
Just grab the
No,
ass
there's no
door
paper
and do
back
it.
in those days.
You guys are too fancy.
You just wait till it's the future, like Demolition Man. We use seashells.
So you want one of those
I remember
potty
that one.
that wipes your ass for you, washes it. I want one of those, dude.
A
Bidet?
boudet? A boudet?
Bidet.
No, we don't call it bidet. There's a company out there that's like an ass sprayer or something. There's got to be.
They dumbed it down. Ass spray 2000.
That's what they, come on, more guys will buy it if you call it ass spray.
That's
Make
true.
it battery operated. Nobody wants to plug their stupid toilet into the wall.
Round up sprayer. I got it sit next to the toilet with water in it.
Greaves. Do you remember the
Just pump it
story
up.
Greaves had about?
yeah.
Oh, I do. That was the funniest story ever. Oh, I'm laughing just thinking about it.
The killer toilet from hell.
Oh man, that would you got to replay that one, Zach. You got to put that up on a new thing or something and replay that
We
stream.
can replay it for sure. It's only like a 4 or 5 minute bit.
That was the funniest. Like,
So if you have an ass door, you can't be wearing undies.
No, you can't.
no, you can't.
Yeah, I think those were long johns were meant to be the undies.
Yeah, they are the underwear. They're in the underwear family. You know.
And I don't understand wiener holes in your underwear either. What's the deal with that? Like,
That's for your wiener.
So like if you're working on a rooftop and you need to go boom boom real quick, you just whip it out and
but it's easier just to pull them down than work the mechanics there. That just seems silly.
But if you're on the rooftop and you need the maximum amount of concealing, if you use the little wiener hole, then someone walks around the corner of the rooftop like, "Oh, did you change the filters too?" It's really easy to conceal real quickly. Now, if your pants are around your ankles, you're going, "I changed them."
True. Yeah.
All you need to do if you have to go on top of the roof is lay down on top of one of those roof stacks, the plumbing stacks.
Lay down on it.
Yeah.
Let's give away one of the prizes real quick.
Straight out of the way.
Some idiot plumber didn't go chop off the bottom, so you're just pissing on the customers downstairs.
All right, here's the first prize. We're going to go ahead and give it away, then you guys can elaborate on this conversation. It'll be
Perfect.
announced in the chat here. We're going to roll
Be
it.
lucky if there's a parapet wall.
The first prize is a $2 gift certificate to
We got a
eBay.
$2 and a $48. Dave C. in Halifax, you are the winner.
Nice.
You have to email me at hvacshoptalk@gmail.com, bro. All right, now you guys can do a little bit more. We'll do one again. So keep chatting, everybody.
So, I was gonna. Oh, the other. Someone asked me. It was funny. Someone asked me on one of my comments or something that came up today on my app that I pay attention to the comments on, and it said, "What are parapets walls for?" And the first thing I thought was so nobody can see you pissing. That was the first thing I thought when I thought of a parapet wall, so nobody can see you. But in my problem, I got high rises, so you got to look up, look around, make sure there's no cameras.
You just got to pretend like you're doing something, because I have a couple similar situations. I'll just go over there and I'm standing next to the filter door assembly, and I got my wrench and my meter, and I'm moving my arms yeah, I'm working. I'm not really working.
Hey,
Water and oil.
I did an Instagram post a while back too, where I was working on a roof, and I pissed on the side of the roof over there, and then as I'm working, I realized, oh man, it's coming towards me.
I hate that.
Slowly dribbling towards me. I got to pick up all my tools, and that was like a
Turns
rookie.
out it runs downhill.
Had to have the mega gulp.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You ever go up on a rooftop and they're like, yeah, the unit over there, they don't even tell you which unit is not working. They're just one of the units isn't working. So you go up there, you take a leak, and you're walking around, and it turns out oh man, it's that unit I just pissed next to. Man, I wish I should have waited to identify which unit needed to be serviced before I just willy-nilly started pissing on everything.
Yeah.
keyword.
Up there just marking every unit.
I'm just walking around peeing on them all now.
Y'all really do this stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
It's truth.
You-
Real life.
I the other day I was driving to a restaurant. I had to pee so bad, and I was driving to the restaurant, and it's I get there and I just walked right up onto the roof, walked up there, found a corner, did what I needed to do instead of I didn't want to waste time going to the restroom.
You're like, no, it's down here. It's our cooler. What are you doing on the roof?
Just checking the equipment out.
Oh, just checking your belts.
I wonder if anybody actually went inside a unit, a big unit, obviously has to be a big unit with doors and everything.
Joe.
And just
We all love big
see
unit.
all coils, and they see a nice drain pan there.
I don't know.
Makes it warm in there.
There's some people that say that crap, but I can't believe someone would actually do
I
that.
know. I couldn't.
Yeah, I've never done that. That's
Some people say that though. Some people in the comments, oh, I piss in the roof or I piss in the unit. It's no, you don't. That's the stupidest thing you could ever do. You're an idiot,
I would
Yeah,
venture to say that's an unwritten rule.
yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how you get HVAC crabs, by doing stuff like that.
Jeez.
Is that a
Are we
thing? Let's give away another prize, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
HVAC Crabs. That's the newest sponsor of this show.
Ooh.
The next winner is HVACR Heatmaster.
Cool.
Hey, didn't you win something from what's his name last week? Yeah, he did.
Did he?
The prize that went through Rookie. Remember, like his Milwaukee thing.
Oh, you just gave it away or something?
Do y'all watch the show?
No.
What show?
Is this live? Yeah.
Oh, you mean the show that Ricky gave away? That's right. He had something that he gave away. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
And he
Indeed.
told you to pick someone.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
He's a 2-time winner now. That's $25 gift card to True Tech Tools. You can get half a valve
Awesome.
core remover. You can buy the batteries that go in your Philippines probes. I don't know.
Yeah. Half a hose?
Philippines
One
has,
hose?
Philippines has a new meter someone had mentioned in the chat that's coming out.
680, bro.
Yep, 640 is the one that I have, or the smaller one, and it's pretty cool. The only difference, the one that I have, I will say that one of the cool things. I hope I'm supposed to talk about it. Someone started talking about it today on social media, so I'm assuming it's fine. But the cool thing about the smaller meter is that. Oh wait, you know what? No, you can talk about them. That's right, because they were at the trade show.
Come on, man. I'm not going to put you in Philippines gel. It's fine.
Yeah, but the smaller one doesn't have a swivel head on it, but it has phase rotation, which is really cool. They've only had phase rotation on their big meters, and it's on the smaller, more compact one now. So
Is it dual impedance?
I have no idea. I could probably go get it, but I don't know. But I want to get the big one, the 680, because I carry the already whatever the big one is that has the swivel head and stuff now. It's huge though.
You send me a picture of that little one or the model
I
number or
shouldn't
something?
say it's little. It's about this big. I can actually, if you guys talk, I can go get it. But
Go for it.
Yeah, later.
We'll wait.
Yeah,
We'll wait.
Like,
They come. No, we'll go.
Never mind.
You go get it, and we'll finish the show after you get it.
I don't
Looking up
care
the six,
about
I want to see how much the
that much.
680 costs. How much do you think the SC680 costs everybody?
$750.
no,
You
I
lose.
honestly don't know. But if I had to guess, I'd say about $200.
$200. Joe, what do you say? 680 flagship meter.
Yeah,
Philippines.
it's gotta be
350.
350. Adam, what do you got?
330.
Adam, you're the winner. It's 320.
He's one of those prices right guys, eh? You
Yeah.
put a price, and the guy just gets right under you.
Take it
Okay.
easy, Joe. Guess better next time.
I know.
So let me ask you this. Okay, with the price of 330, does that phase you guys from buying it?
I wouldn't buy it.
No, I'm buying Fluke all day long.
I don't need.
Yeah, I would-
I don't need all the. I wouldn't need all the features that thing has anyway.
I would buy it. I wouldn't hesitate.
If it was dual impedance and does the phase rotation, I'd probably probably get
Pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. When it comes to tools, I don't. You don't like to cheap out.
It's not
No,
necessarily cheap. It's just it has features that I wouldn't require.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's different. Yeah.
And see, now I don't, I know a lot of people don't like Field Piece. I don't consider Field Piece to be cheap anymore. I consider them to make really decent stuff. I mean, yes, there's things that, yes, Fluke, you know, they're probably more scientific, but I don't think that we're doing anything that a Fluke. I don't think we're doing anything that needs a scientific Fluke meter, fancy, schmancy, whatever. So the Field Piece does just fine for everything I need to do, at least. But maybe there's something you guys do that I don't. I don't know.
No, Philippines all day, man. Philippines is fine with me.
Yeah.
Justin Beaver's actually doing a review right now, comparing the UEI Fluke and Field
Mhm.
Piece.
So
far, they're neck
personally,
and neck.
can we talk about those meters, or is there sponsorships and stuff?
Well, this is America, so you can talk about whatever meters you want.
Can we talk truthfully?
You can say whatever you want. I'm not going to hold
So,
anybody back from
okay,
saying
so
anything.
Zach-
If you don't like UEI, Adam, you bastard.
In the very beginning, like when I first started watching your channel, I actually won some big giveaway where I got a UEI DL429 and a bunch of other stuff from you.
Nice. All right.
And I gave that to one of my techs because I was like, I didn't need it. He hates the meter and it burns through batteries like crazy. Now, I don't know if he was doing something wrong, but in the DL429, he burns through batteries. I'm talking weekly. I almost think there was something wrong, but I mean, he goes through them.
I can't tell you the last time I released a battery in mine.
Yeah.
I don't have a UEI. It's
Oh, well, that would have been a good comparison if they were the same.
yeah. Yeah. I'll take one though and test it out too.
Justin's testing one out right now. I think he loves it.
Yeah, the UEI.
I don't know.
Can I test something?
Yeah, you could test something, but you won't make a damn video on it.
Yeah, you can test our patience.
Hey, I'll send you the DL379 Adam. You'll be like, I don't want that piece of shit.
Send you a box of Q-tips. You can review those.
I'll write return to sender in the freaking box.
Oh my.
Hey, I'm gonna send you the SC680 in January. Okay?
I got that micron gauge today.
Did you?
Which one? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got it.
Which micron gauge is that?
I don't even know.
Blue vac, wasn't it?
micro blue vac.
What
Micro.
was it again?
Micro blue vac.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love the micro blue vac because okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there any point in buying the Blue Vac Pro anymore if you're using the Blue Vac app?
The app has more features with the Pro.
Oh, it does.
It
That's
does.
what I was curious. Okay, so because I have the Blue Vac Pro and I use the app, but the app has like all the timers and the decay tests and all that stuff. So I assumed that with the micro one, it would do the same stuff. Does it not?
No, I don't know what the features are, but I asked the same question because I had the micro, and they said that the Pro, the professional, has more features that are available through the app. Now, based on what the micro does, I don't care anything about that because it does everything I would need it to do.
Yeah. I've been thinking about picking up a couple, but I love the Blue Vac and I love their app doing the decay tests. And yeah, it's awesome. I will say that I have a conflict though between, and I know it's something that I'm doing. I have a really bad time reading instructions, so I typically don't read instructions. I like tools to be intuitive, and I kind of refuse to read instructions when it comes to a lot of things.
You're not a lady, so.
I'm on a what?
A lady. Ladies read instructions.
Exactly.
Men
Men
just
don't read
know.
instructions. But anyway, so on my Blue Vac, whenever I use it and I set the decay levels and all that stuff, it'll literally go off in 5 seconds, like you passed your decay test.
I think it's looking at like how quickly the decay is.
Right, and I can set it, but
Right.
there's also a decay test in my in the Blue Vac Pro and in the app. So I think that the two are conflicting.
Right.
And I need to read the instructions. But so anytime I do a decay test, I pass it instantly because it only looks at it for 5 seconds. Even if in the app I change it to 10 minutes, it's still
No,
clicking.
I think it's something in the app what it's looking at, like what is actually doing in the decay. Like it's looking at what's happening. So sometimes I do the same thing. Sometimes you look at a decay test and it could take 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Other times it could take 10, 20 seconds and it'll be like pass right away. You know what I mean? That's a good question. Somebody get Bergman on the phone.
All right, Bergman, where's
It's
he
his
at?
birthday yesterday, I think, wasn't it? Don't ask me why I know that. I follow him on Facebook. I stalk him on Facebook. So
Hey, Jim. Hey,
Yeah.
will you sponsor our show? Jim? Jim?
We talk about screwdrivers. Can I review a screwdriver?
What
Yeah,
is that?
That's some sort of.
you seriously don't carry that around, do you?
No, I don't. But I
Okay.
bought it because I think
Oh.
I feel like it's cool. It's a Cobalt double drive, so it's like a ratcheting screwdriver. It just ratchets like this. But double drive, if you hold the blue ring, even when you go backwards, it's driving forward, so it drives twice as fast.
See, that I feel like I need
Wow.
instructions for. That sounds very confusing to me.
So it has like a pulley system inside? Big pulley, small pulley?
There's
Gears?
actually small people inside the screwdriver?
Yeah.
How does it
must be.
work?
Oh.
I'm not going to buy that one because I'm confused already.
Yeah,
All right.
it's very
I'll-
confusing to
I'll
me.
see you next week.
Yeah. All right.
What?
Oh, no. Let's get out of here.
Happy birthday
let's
to Jim.
tally this up. How many times did you guys say big picture diagnosis? Because I got to make sure I get.
I'm not
right.
sure that we said it at all.
Oh,
How do you say it? How do you pronounce those words?
You didn't hear the fine print after we said it, Chris?
so
we
if,
said
if
something.
I say it on your show, since this is going live, do I get payment for that too?
I'm pretty sure our lawyers will have a field day with that.
Only if it leads to some sort of income generating somehow.
What if the company, not me, but what if my company sues Zach? Like, could my company sue myself and then I just generate money like that?
Yeah, I'd like to speak to Johnny
Yeah.
Cochran. What do you mean?
Cochran.
Yeah.
It'll be laundry.
Isn't
No,
he dead?
Been dead
Get
for
the
how long?
Kardashian guy. Johnny Cochran was just a ploy. It was the Kardashian guy that did everything.
I'd like to speak to Khloe Kardashian.
You're going in the wrong direction. She
I'd like to speak to Bruce Jenner.
Ooh.
oh no. It's
What do you mean he doesn't
yeah.
exist?
Caitlyn now.
Now it's called Kylie
All right.
Jenner.
Oh no, there's a controversial social subject. YouTube told me we need to wrap it up.
Go, have you heard of the Jenners?
Let's transition away from this.
But I'm bum.
Hey
Bill
yo.
Bill knew Caitlyn Jenner. He follows him or her, and we
Who
won't
is
cut him
dead?
off.
Susie. Susie said someone's dead. Who's dead?
Johnny Cochran's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, Cochran. He died.
Oh, but I said Kardashian, didn't I?
Yeah, but
Didn't all the lawyers die?
Maybe did Kardashian die too?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We get sued. We need to stop. We're
Oh, the
talking.
lawyer?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one
Let's go.
that was
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian's dad. He did.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, I believe.
Oh no.
Yeah,
All right.
Bruce Jenner wasn't responsible for the Kardashian people.
Yeah, that's the reaction we're getting now.
Wait a second, what was that?
So on the last episode,
Exactly.
the last episode of Desperate Housewives.
Shut up.
Which one?
Oh God, I just want to go inside and put my feet up. What's going on here? I'm just
You know what? Adam's absolutely right. This part of the show is a joke. This has been the least good part of the show of the whole show. We need to stop. Joe?
I think it's because I came on. That's when it went downhill.
No,
Oh,
Chris,
my
you-
God.
you-
Thanks, Chris.
we were talking about residential motor crap, and then Chris had to come on here and bring up commercial. Then we didn't know what the hell was going on any longer. And Bill was relieved, but the rest of us were like, I don't know what's happening.
you gotta
Like,
look.
finally, I have a friend.
That's what it
besides all
was.
you
Bill's
Reggie
got a friend
guys.
in here now.
Steve Demonsky said we forgot to talk about double shafted motors.
Well,
You gotta look at the double shaft.
all right.
We got-
Well, I had to
we
replace
got-
a double shafted motor one time. It was in a First Company upright wall mounted air handler. It was a pain in the ass because I never dealt with it before. It took me like an hour to find where the Allen key went. And then once I did, I felt really stupid. And then I replaced it and everything was fine.
Sweet.
Double
One
shafted motor.
residential call I've ever done, I found a double shafted motor in the nightstand. It was kind of, yeah.
Wow.
I seen a movie like that once with
Wait a second.
who was that?
It's a DC motor.
This is Overtime After Dark.
Yeah.
Well, there goes another copyright.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
All right. Wrap it up, Tommy Chong.
50% of this has been a great show, guys. I really enjoy you listening to this.
72%.
72%. Okay, 72%. Now I'd like to introduce Joe, an Italian Canadian who would like to wrap this show up in a great fashion. Joe, let's do
Well, first of all, I want to thank Chris and everybody who's super chatted. That's awesome. The guy who puts his Jeez.
You got
Just
a blemish
do it.
on your upper
Do
cheek
it.
there.
I got a what?
You got a blemish. I can see. He's got really good resolution on the camera right
it.
now.
You got a salmon on your friggin' head. Oh, never mind.
Are you gonna wear that next week, Joe?
Toodles.
You look like
Cheeto.
you should be standing in a Home Depot parking lot waiting for work.
I heard they did that down there. They don't do that.
Yeah, that's a thing down here.
Everything
let's-
is real. It's just that you guys laugh at it. And I don't know why.
It's not funny.
Yeah, it's
It's not funny to me, but you guys laugh at it.
what? That you stand at the Home Depot park. What? What's going on here?
It's time to end the show, Joe.
Remember back when
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
ending the show?
Yep.
Go for it.
Those were good times. Oh, you want me to do it?
For Christmas.
Go for it. We have one more show
right.
for Christmas.
Do
No, you
No,
don't.
we don't.
This is
Christmas.
it.
No,
This is
I
it?
have more show before Christmas. You don't.
Yeah.
We don't?
Can we-
We're all going to
Can
be
we
on
do-
Chris's show.
Friday's not
Operation
Christmas.
lowered the bar for Chris's show.
Wednesday's Christmas, Joe.
All right. I don't know what day it is in Canada, Joe, but it's Christmas on Wednesday here. So, on behalf of Chris, the guy who's not technically on the show, but always ends up here at the end of the show, I want to say thank you to Chris. I don't know where he's pointing. There you go. That's better. He's pointing to his own name. Bill, who my wife said looks like your beard was in dreads tonight. Really cool. Great beard. It's roughly 2 foot long. His kids are actually tangled up in it right now. You can't see them. HVACR North, who's got the headband on that speaks for itself. So, catch him in Boogie Nights 2, coming this fall.
Hey, Boogie Nights was a good movie.
I've offended Chris.
That was a very good movie.
Yeah.
Adam Muffich, who chooses to sell Amana units even though they're great. Sorry, Adam. They're great. Stainless
He has
steel heat
angry
exchanger.
face.
Can we
No.
do a little Christmas carol for everyone right now?
Yeah, let's go ahead. What do you want to sing?
You start.
What do you want to sing? I'll start.
No.
Oh, now that someone wants to do it, we lost our will to try it.
We wish you a Merry
No, let's do something
Christmas. We wish you a Merry HVAC.
My true love sent to me.
That's what?
What the?
Partridge and Bill's beard and the tree.
Noel, the angel did say, was to
Yeah,
certain
you guys
bullshit
can't see it, but I'm closing my eyes.
Are we ready for the
fields where
copyright
they lay.
video?
What?
Time to go.
Oh, the hardwood floors are really buckling here. All right.
Actually, yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna head you off, Jay, before the show lasts 10 more minutes. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody on behalf of everybody here.
And we'll see you on the next one.
The next one. I wanted to say it too.